now? Yeah. Okay, welcome to the meeting of the Museum Advisory Committee at February 25th at 6:32. Just calling the meeting to order. Roll call. We have, let's see, we have Marty here by Zoom and Michelle by Zoom, and we have regrets from Melanie. And I think that covers everybody. And we have Mayor Grantham attending as a guest also tonight. Welcome. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda? Dave, seconded by Ala, all in favor? Carried. Any declarations of pecuniary interests? Okay, seeing none. We have the minutes of November the 19th, 2024. Can I get a motion to receive and approve the advisory committee meetings of minutes of November 19th? Ashley, seconded by Dave. Any discussion? I'm trying to remember to look over here at Michelle and Marty. Okay, seeing none, all in favor? Sure. All right, first on the agenda is our report. We have the curator's report of November 24th to January 25th. And Michelle, I'm assuming you're going to do this one? Okay, I'll hand it over to you.
All right, wonderful. I'll just give you the highlights as normal, so bear with me.
Just a
all
second.
right, so exhibits, broken promises.
Michelle?
Just taken off. Oh, can you hear me?
You're crackling.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but it's crackly. Oh, okay. That's better when you did that.
You guys are very crackly for me.
When you don't move, I think it's okay. It might be your earbuds. No.
Yeah. Is that better?
Still crackling.
Is that better?
Just see if Melanie can do anything on her end. 1 second.
It wasn't crackling when we tested it. See if that changes anything.
Okay. Go ahead, Michelle.
Is that better? Am I less crackling?
Nope. Hold on. You are, but you're only out of it. Hold on.
Sorry, Michelle, now we don't have you on audio. 1 second.
Trying.
Yeah, it must be on her end.
Okay, I don't think there's anything we can do at this end, so we'll just have to persevere if you want to go ahead.
Okay. Is it better if I just speak slowly?
I could.
Maybe, Crystal, do you want to give the highlights?
Sure.
And I'm here if there's any questions.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Can you mute yourself, Michelle?
Thanks. Okay. All right. So hopefully the crackling will subside, but we can definitely do the highlights for the curator's report. As you know, Broken Promises closed on Family Day, and we're in the midst of turnover, so we'll have 2 artists come in on Friday. So the opening is actually Friday at 4:30, so if you're all available, come on out. So it's Katie Dortmans and Kristen McCoy. So really excited. It's very interesting artwork, so please come out. And then we are carrying on with our History of Strathroy-Caradoc, the permanent exhibit. So that's our permanent display that will be in the front foyer. We're working with the company Scory, so that is a great opportunity, as well as DUT that created the project. The collections management, we'll talk a bit more about that during our collections management report coming up. And then volunteer hours. So we have actually 1 volunteer that's actually retiring from volunteering tomorrow, actually. So he had 1,000 hours over 10 years, actually 11 years. He's 80, oh gosh, he's in his 80s, and he's a lovely gentleman. So tomorrow is his last day. So that's George's term at the museum. He's been a wonderful help with the collection. And we had a co-op student that did great work, and we'll talk about some of the work he did with YouTube as well in the Strat plan. And then coming up, we have a few programs, actually. Chess Club's running strong. I think we have 16 or 17 members, at least. The poppy attaching is still going, so please, come on out. We have attaching every month. We're not going to attach 6,000 more, but we're probably going to get pretty close. And we're doing another wood carving workshop, because that's been very successful. It sells out pretty much within 2 days. So we're doing a wood carving workshop in April. Oh, and a beading workshop, sorry. That also sells out really fast. So I think we opened it 2 days ago. I haven't checked what the registration is on that one, but she sells out really quickly as well.
Okay, thank you. Any, first of all, I need a motion to accept the curator's report of February 25th. Thank you,
I'll move.
Ashley. Oh, Marty, thank you. It's seconded by Ashley. Any comments or feedback or questions for Michelle? Okay, seeing none, all in favor of accepting the report? Carried. Next, we have the collection subcommittee report. And we'll start with the motion to receive the report for information to support collection subcommittee meeting December 9th for approval. Someone to motion that, Dave, seconded by Ashley. All in favor? Carried. Okay, go ahead.
So, actually, I might share a screen, possibly. All right, how's that going? Sure. All right, if I can, go. Coming up. Maybe, yes. All right. Oh, no, did not work. I always hit share. There we go. Okay.
Screen section.
Okay. So, the collections meeting happened in December, so that was quite a long time ago. But we actually had quite an important meeting. So the people that were able to come that day reviewed our deaccessioning. So we are starting to deaccession items from our collection. And so this round we did 29 items. So within that there was a lot of duplication items that were bought by the old museum and just for furniture purposes. So chairs, lots of chairs, paintings, didn't relate to Strathroy, it was just for decoration. So we're going through those types of items right now, and we're getting not rid, because we do go to other museums and other places before we deaccession them permanently. So this is the first batch, so that's why we're bringing this to light now. So this has to be approved by MAC, and then it will be going out to council for final approval.
Okay, any questions for Crystal about the report? I'll just make a comment that I see that later on in the agenda, we have the decommissioning
Oh, was that the
policy.
Oh, yeah, no, the collections management policy.
The
Yes.
collection management policy, so we can talk further about what will happen to these items
That's right.
in that policy. Okay,
Mhm.
great. All right, nothing further, we'll move on to new business.
So we need a
Oh.
motion to approve that.
I think we did. Yep, we did at the beginning before we
Okay.
opened it, yeah. New business, semi-annual strategic plan review. Will that be Michelle? I think she's gonna take over for that. Can we just, we'll have you review it first and then we'll accept
Can
it.
Can you guys hear me? Is it better?
And now, yeah.
Not bad.
All right, so this is just the first for this year. We just wanted to highlight things in our strategic plan that we might focus on a bit more this year, because next year will be the last year for this strategic plan, and we will be making the new one for 2027 for the next 5 years. So there's quite a bit on here that is ongoing or already done, or things that we've done very recently, and then there's stuff that we're thinking about doing this year. Don't know if I can share. Hold on, let me try and share. Oh, my screen. Can you see my screen? There we go. All right, technology. You'd think we'd have it down by now. I think I'd have it. All right. Can you see it? It doesn't look, it says it's sharing.
Yeah, you just need to,
Click on the back
I think you
screen.
just need to minimize your Zoom screen. There.
There you go.
It's there. Do you see the plan? All right. So the engagement plan, so you can see what's highlighted in blue. Those are things that we're going to focus on this year. One that we talked about at the previous strategic planning session was, I know Ashley particularly, you talked about the YouTube series. So last summer we had our museum assistant do the craft videos, which went over very well. And we had our co-op student that recently finished in January with us. He developed a series of collections and historical based ones, and he's coming back to do one more. And so we were thinking of trying to make this a series moving forward where in the summer we would have kind of more craft type videos, and in the winter more collection type videos. And we'll see where that kind of goes, and we'll utilize the museum assistant role as well as potentially other volunteers or co-op students. So that's one we're going to try and focus on this year, as well as our provide online materials. So one thing that is happening, just as an update, is our museum website is being updated. It is in the period of transition right now, so right now we can't do absolutely anything on it, but once we do the transition over in a couple months, the website will actually be completely redesigned. And so that's when we'll focus on being able to add more content to it. That also goes to another point, I think, in the experience, so develop new online exhibitions and content. So with the whole website redesign, we will be doing a lot of different things on the website, hopefully. Crystal and I are quite excited for that new redesign. A couple other things that we're focusing on this year, for example, in experience, is the enhancing the interactive component with the history of Hollywood, history of Strathroy-Caradoc. History of Hollywood is another exhibit idea we're playing around for future. History of Strathroy-Caradoc display, it's going to have a touch screen with a very interactive component in it, and that will be a permanent feature for that exhibit. So we will be looking at enhancing our interactive component digitally through that exhibit. So we're excited on that. We're still working out. That's the one where we've been unfortunately running into some kinks with, but again, think we have a pretty good plan. I'm hoping to actually order it next week, and it will be done by the spring. So that's very exciting. In partnership, one that we're focusing on right now is the establishing partnerships with post-secondary institutions. We are currently speaking with Fleming curatorial program for potentially getting an intern over the summer, which is a great partnership that we can move forward on. We had last year the partnership with the U of T Museum Masters of Museum Studies program with the students that came to help with the History of Strathroy-Caradoc exhibit. So we're continually focusing on those kind of relationships and how we can also get in touch with the next up and coming students in the museum world, and it's always nice to be able to reach out and have that done. Green, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, green is stuff that we've recently completed. So the Sittingham Discovery, for example, the website has been taken down, and then the whole redesign of the fish tank and the information along the side of it. So this was recently done. And something else I will mention here, so the clarifying of the working relationship with the Museum Foundation. So it has not been completed yet. However, the Museum Foundation will be disbanding this year, and we are working out what that means for the funds that they have and how we can transfer those over, and the potential relationship with the members that will be disbanding in more of a volunteer capacity. We will give you more updates probably at the next meeting when we have them too. Another one for the collections, so those YouTube videos that we talked about, doing the behind the scenes, but the big one this year is the reorganization and maximizing the existing storage space. So we are in the process of reorganizing, as Crystal said, with all of the deaccessioning, moving items out and preparation for new shelving units to go into the back. And then of course reorganizing all of the items that will go on them. It's a big project, but we're really excited for it, and that will then lead to hopefully some other things. You'll notice there's a couple other things that aren't highlighted. So the development, for example, of our behind the scene tours, we decided that this has to go after the reorganization, because as it is right now, with everything moving around, we just cannot develop the behind the scene tours. So once we are able to reorganize the space, we'll be able to hopefully do some behind the scene tours, which everyone is always so impressed every time we bring them to the back, because there's so many amazing gems back there for everyone to see. Yeah. And then I think the last one here for things that we're going to be focusing on this year, and stuff that we've been working towards, the new staff, so the museum assistant program, position. The position has closed, and so we are going to be doing interviews in a couple weeks for the seasonal staff person that we're going to hire. Last year was Sam, and Sam did an amazing job running not only a lot of the programs, but she did a lot of extra content in terms of, you know, the videos, and she also helped us a lot in the markets. She helped a lot with our exhibit as well, the architecture exhibit that went in. So we're really excited to see who it will be this year, and like I said, we've got interviews coming up. So probably at the next meeting, I think at the next meeting we'll be able to say who it is. I don't know if there's any questions or if there's anything in the plan that people would like to focus on or to ask questions on, but I'm all ears.
Thank you, Michelle. Just a comment, the attachment didn't have any indication of what was completed or in progress, at least on my copy. Was that a mistake?
I cannot hear you. Like, it's very crackly. I'm so sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Well, that's better.
Okay, I just got to speak more into the mic. So the attachment with the strategic plan that came out on our eScribe did not have any indicators of what was, like nothing was color coded that I see that you have now. Was it supposed to be?
Crystal, do you want
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, sorry, we realized that today, and that you got the old one, so we can resend that out to you. It's the same document, just with the highlights, but we realized that today, unfortunately, that we sent the final version, not the highlighted version, but you can definitely have that copy.
Okay, yeah, I think that would be helpful if we all got that. So there was just something on the partnership section that I just wanted to ask about, and that was about the regional and local tourism strategy. You've got here as a midterm goal to participate in the regional and local tourism strategy and to revitalize the museum exhibit corporate sponsorship program campaign. And I'm just wondering whether you've reached out to Economic Development Department with the municipality, because I think that they could probably help you with those strategies, or I didn't hear anything about those strategies in your overview.
Yes, so we did participate last year in a focus group with the county for tourism, and so we do have those contacts, and we also have other contacts with other heritage or well, the archives and things like that, and we are always willing to work with them. Sorry, I'm just pulling up that point now. We did participate last year in that meeting. I don't actually know what happened with the results of that meeting, but it is something that we've been invited to in the past, and we have that working relationship, so it's just something that we need to maintain. And then the corporate sponsorship campaign, I think part of that, we've talked with Kate Topham through her events coordinator. She has a lot of sponsorship packages already kind of lined up, so it's something that I've talked with her about in the past, if there's something that maybe we should be doing particular. But we're also waiting to see kind of what happens with the trust from the foundation, to see what that kind of looks like, and if that's something that we can align with our strategies moving forward.
Anybody else have any questions or comments?
I have one.
Go ahead.
Just to note that this is a 5-year strat plan, so we do have 2026 to work with. And also, normally our strat plans don't align with council in terms that you're on. It's just because of COVID that we had to push ours ahead. So in 2026, we will be, as a group, working on creating a new strat plan for the next term. So that will be one of our focuses for 2026, even though we are still in that cycle of this strat plan. So we still have 2 years to accomplish as much as we can. But yeah, so 2026 is going to be our focus to create a new one for the next 4 years.
Okay, great. All right, we'll move on to the collections management policy. So we have a motion to receive the report CS 2025-11 Collections Management Policy review, and further that MAC make any recommendations for updating the collections management policy, and further that MAC approve the collections management policy. So we'll just get a motion to, we'll start with just a motion to receive the report. Dave and Ashley, all in favor of receiving the report? Carried, and we'll come back to the following motions after you present it. Sorry.
All right, so I can share my screen, but I also think you've all seen the collections management policy, but I can share the screen as well. But this policy has not been updated in a number of years. All our policies are usually updated every 3 years, 3 to 5 years. This one, we haven't given you a red line version of this policy because the only changes that we see are very minimal, like the director of community, like it used to be community cultural services, now it's director of CS. So it's those very minor changes. There's no other changes within the policy, so hence you did not receive a red line version. But we're always open to changes and updates where you see fit. And so if anybody has any questions on this, and if you have any changes, then we can definitely look at doing them.
I found changes.
Okay. No.
Michelle, can you hear me online? Okay, I don't. So first, I was just wondering the 3.12, where it's the documentation must be capable of verification, but then it's that they can have incomplete documentation as long as they contribute. I just didn't know if that was better laid out as like a sub-article or anything. It just read a little unusual. Do you know what I mean?
Yep, just pulling it up. Just it's not loading all the way.
Oh, sorry.
White screen. Yeah. All right. So 3.12.
Yeah. Just the statement of
Yep.
that the documentation must be capable of verification, and then kind of that immediate like, well, we can have incomplete, as long as, I just didn't know if there was a different way of laying it out so it reads a little bit
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah, we can. It's more, this is more like legalese types, but yeah,
Yeah.
we can do it as more of a general, yeah.
3.14.6, we had some art e-fax, and I think we were
Oh.
switching all of those to art i-fax.
Yes, we were.
I found a couple stragglers there.
Good catch.
This is what I'm here for. We got my highlighter out. 5.3, I was just curious if that inventory schedule is accurate and achievable, or if that needed to be looked at differently from your point of view.
Yeah, so we do spot inventories definitely very regularly. Those are just like box ones. I pick a random box. We just did one yesterday. Semi-comprehensive inventories every 3 to 5 years. It's all in the eye of the beholder in a sense. Like I'll just maybe do open storage, like visual.
Yeah.
I have not done a complete inventory, and that is in our strat plan that we are looking at hopefully completing. But with the reorg, it's kind of one and the same. Like when we are reorganizing, we can do inventory. But no, a complete inventory has not been done in the last 10 years. But the other two, yes, for sure, yeah.
Okay, I wasn't concerned, more so from your point of view, if it's a good time to change those timelines. And I had a couple more things. 9.1, I think, is just missing a comma between exhibitions and programs. Unless it's exhibitions programs, which could be a thing, I don't know. 9.8, I just didn't know if you wanted social media expressly included, or if that kind of fits under electronic media.
Yeah, like this again was made 10 years
exactly.
ago. So yeah, I totally understand that. We could definitely add, yeah.
And I'm almost done, I promise. 9, the educational collection at like 9:11. I just wondered because the heading there is educational collection, and then it's with respect to development and maintenance of an education collection. Right. So I just didn't know if you wanted that consistent. It's like it refers to it later as the education collection, so it was more of a just, do we want it one way or the other? Yeah. Oh, and I think there's an extra space at the beginning of 10.3. That D just looked like it was slid over a little bit. That's it. That's all for me. I promise.
No, that's amazing. Oh, thank you.
Perfect.
I was just wondering if you could just, the decommissioning process, which section is that again?
It's usually
8 point something. So I was confused because the one section says that you will contact donors, and then 8.8 says museum Strathroy-Caradoc will not dispose of collections by returning them to donors. So I'm kind of confused. Could you just clarify that for me?
Yeah, so we can contact them, but because a lot of times when you donate things, a tax receipt or something is involved, so there is that transaction. So we can't physically give the items back because it's kind of like they already received a tax receipt for it, or they've already received something. So you can't really give something back, but we can contact them and say this is what's happening. Unfortunately, 99% of our items that we're doing right now, deaccessioning, past donors, 20, 30 years. A lot of times they're purchased by the museum. A lot of the chairs that were just deaccessioned were purchased. So right now we're not dealing with any recent items, but unfortunately, just due to tax purposes, we're not able to give items back.
Okay, all right. I wonder if it just might, under that 8.8, where we say, will not dispose of collections by returning to original donors who had received a tax credit.
Yep.
Just maybe clarify that again. And then so, for example, the list that you provided in December. So can you just walk me through this policy and what will be the steps for, I think it's a great timing because we have a whole list of them.
Yeah.
So what happens now?
For sure. So it was accepted at the subcommittee. They said yes. Now it's going to be accepted here. You say yes. It goes to council. They say yes. So all that happens. Unfortunately, it's going to take another couple months to officially happen because we have to get the easements approved. And anyway, so it's going to take a few more months on that. And then the next step is we have a listserv for all museums in Ontario. I put a little call out to those museums and say, hey, this is our list of deaccessioned items. Does anybody want any of these items? They have about a month to say yay or nay for that. And then if they want to pick them up, they come and pick them up. And then they're theirs. So after that month, then the items in question, two things can happen. We can do a auction. So an auction would have to be off-site. No, none of us can deal with this auction. We can't purchase anything. No one on the municipality can purchase it. They can't go to it. They can't see it, kind of deal. So the general public have a opportunity to purchase these items, and then that money has to come back and only deal with the collection. We can't just put it in the general coffers. We have to use that money for collections purposes. The other is to donate within the community to other nonprofits. So that could include other places that, I don't know if like Goodwill is an example, things like that, places within the community. So everything will always stay within the community in one way or another. The only time that we have to destroy something is if it, let's say it's a china cup that broke and we're deaccessioning it. No one, unfortunately, will take a china cup that broke. So that, in a sense, we unfortunately do have to dispose of that item, but it's only if it's broken or if it's in poor repair or extremely dirty, things like that, that you just can't make use of it anymore.
Yeah, but I have a question.
Yeah.
What we will do if we don't have space?
Well, that's why we're deaccessioning the items. So eventually we'll have another round of deaccession. So eventually these 30 items in the next couple of months will leave. Hopefully we'll have another 30 to, I don't even know what the number will be, but it could be a chair, it could be a book, it could be a piece of paper. So the space-wise, you know, it could be a box of items, it could be a whole shelf of items. But right now we're doing a lot of ones that have lack of provenance, so those are the items that don't have any stories behind them, or things that the museum bought, again, in the 70s to make the house beautiful back in the day that unfortunately have no Strathroy connections. Any other questions?
So if you were to do a legitimate public auction, then it would have to be like a third party would manage that. You'd hire an auction house to do that. Okay, good. All right, any other questions? Okay, seeing none, we have a motion then to go back to the top. Sorry, 1 second. We have a motion. Do we need to make a motion to back any this make any recommendations?
If you, these recommendations
Okay.
here, yeah.
All right. So we need a motion for MAC to make the recommendations that was basically discussed at this meeting to update the collections management policy and further that we approve the collections management policy with the updates mentioned this evening. Ashley, seconded by Dave. All in favor? Carried. Okay, next, the Poppy Project report. We have a motion to receive the CS 2025-12 Poppy Project report for information. Someone to receive the report? Ashley, sorry, seconded by, I'm looking at Alla, but saying Ainsley, so my mouth is kind of confused, sorry. Seconded by Alla. All in favor? Carried. And Michelle, it's back to you.
Thank you. I'm just going to share my screen again so we can all look at it together. Here we go. All right. So you guys probably, I hope you're not sick of hearing about puppies yet. But we had such an amazing project last year with the Poppy Project. So just this is just kind of a summation of everything that went down from November of 2023 to November of 2024. So of course we had the two beautiful installations. So the first page and a half is just an overview of what happened, the amazing response that we had from the community, all the events that we were able to do, and in the end we had, and I'm scrolling down to it, unless I counted wrong, but I'm not going to go back and double check, we had 10,152 poppies donated when we originally asked for 3,500. So we have an amazing community behind us, and they were able to put that many poppies into the installation. We kind of averaged about 7,000 hours went into making them. That take, anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour and 20 minutes is kind of the average number that we took to how long it takes you to make just one poppy. We had 16 different workshops and attaching days in total. We had 12 different media articles come out about it. We actually had people that donated or participated in some way from 5 different countries, so it ended up being an international project, which is, again, amazing. And those countries are listed actually on the next page. Number of volunteers, this is just an estimate, and those just refer to the number of volunteers that came out to help either during the workshops or the attaching days. It does not count the a number of volunteers that donated the poppies, because we don't know that number. We had 9 special events, and this volunteer hours is from those volunteers that came out through the workshops and attaching days. Again, does not talk about the poppy creation time donated. Then we've just got a bit of our volunteers here, so you can see right here, this is a list of everywhere that we have documented. Again, there are some that may not have chosen to share where they were from, but we had packages that came in or other support from Toronto, Ottawa, Peterborough, Kingston, Calgary, New Brunswick, New York, Maine, London, England, the Netherlands, and Nice, and again, more probably out there. We just don't have that information all compiled. These are what people chose to give us. And this list of names, again, is the people that were okay with sharing their names or wanted recognition. There are several that said, no, I just wanted to feel like I was a part of something, but they didn't necessarily want to be on the list. So this is just a brief list of everybody that was involved. And then we have our events section. So this was the events that we referred to as the 11 Days of Remembrance, where we had something on every day from the 1st to the 11th, including the documentary showing, the unveiling ceremonies, the war artifacts, the special walking tour, and the Legion ran the Remembrance Day ceremony. However, they did invite me to speak at it, which was really wonderful of them. So these are just some pictures from those events. And then the media, so I just listed here the publications that we were in. So Age Dispatch, CTV London came out, Hometown, Keeping It Local, Marathon of History, which is actually, the article has been given to them. It's coming out in the next issue. It ended up being pushed into the next issue. Sarnia News Today covered us, and the banner, Strathroy Neighbours. And so here's just a couple pictures from them. I have them all documented on my computer. And then these are just some comments that I pulled off of Facebook or Instagram, just people showing their support and just how overwhelmed and everyone was so thankful for the project. So this is just a document that kind of sums up what we did this year. Doesn't talk about what we're doing, what we did last year, so it doesn't talk about what we're doing this year. Of course, as Crystal said, we have roughly 6,000 poppies to attach, and so we've been having more attaching days. They've been the first Thursday of every month. from 1 to 4, although we've added 2 more for March during March break to hopefully get some high school students in for some volunteer hours, which I have already contacted the high schools to let them know. But if anybody knows anybody trying to get their volunteer hours, please spread the word. If you can tie a knot, you can help. You don't have to make the poppies, we're just tying them onto the netting. And we also have some rock star volunteers that have actually been taking them home and working on them at home too. So still more to come, and next year's will be just even bigger and more beautiful. And we are still working with the Legion, particularly the Strathroy Legion is helping us try to obtain the copyright permission for the poppies for this year. As I think I stated before, so the permission we do have to get every year, at least for the first few years, and that comes from Dominion Command. And they said basically it shouldn't be a problem, we just have to follow the formalities. So we're still waiting to get that official yes, but they were really happy with the project last year, and I didn't hear anything negative about it, so we're moving forward as planned, unless I hear otherwise. Yeah.
Thank you. Any comments or questions about the Poppy project for Michelle?
Good job.
Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. Just a note, Melanie's advised me that we did not pass the motion to receive the semi-annual strategic plan. And I'm wondering if we could just defer that to the next meeting, because we actually don't have the updated copy of that report. So if everyone's okay with that, we'll just leave that and put it forth to the next meeting, where that time we'll all have a chance to have taken a look at what's been completed and what's still to come. Okay? All right, the 2024 annual review. Yeah, we have a motion to receive the report for review. Dave, seconded by Ashley, all in favor of receiving the report? Carrie. Go ahead, Michelle.
All right, I'll share my screen one more time. So this is our year in review, so it just, again, sums up everything that we did in 2024. So you've seen similar documents in the past, so this is just a brief introduction, kind of summary of what we've done. These are stats at a glance. I've also attached to this report the statistic document that that Mac requested last year, so I just updated it for this year with the 2024 numbers, so you'll be able to see those graphs with that attached document as well. But here are last 2024's numbers just at a glance, which is great to see. Staffing and governance, just again a summary of what we've done in terms of, we had Sam as our museum assistant. These are different training workshops that Crystal or myself or Sam participated in. We had overall 450 volunteer hours from 12 different volunteers over the course of last year. That, I've just put a note in here, that does not include the Poppy Project estimate number of volunteers. And one thing that we also highlighted was we had a volunteer, Nell. She actually was here on a placement through the Rotary Club, and she was with us for 6 months through the exchange program. And so she started in November of 2023 and then was with us until April, and she did some amazing work for us. She actually assisted in the Poppy Project. She did a number of programming, a lot of online content, and she was just really great to have, and she's been doing well back in France, and you know, a little jealous she's in the French Riviera, but that's where she is. And then of course we had our co-op students as well, which is a great relationship we continue to have with Holy Cross. And we also had a co-op placement from Nipissing University from their education program. And she was very instrumental in helping us create March break programs for last year. We unfortunately were not able to get a student in for this year, which is why we don't have the capacity to create the March break program for this year, and why we added the Poppy attaching days instead. Exhibits, this is just, again, a summary. So we had a few exhibits last year. So Grandma's Attic was continued. We had Cipher to Cipher come in. We had the student art show. We had the architects, through the architect's lens. And then, of course, Broken Promises that just left this week. And in the lobby, we didn't have too many lobby exhibits last year because we had a big display for the Poppy Project where that was our drop-off for people to drop off their poppies. But then once that was done, we were then able to utilize the space a little bit, and we put our National Truth and Reconciliation display for the whole month of October. And then that came down with Broken Promises, and we needed to utilize that space for that exhibit. This is just, we were able to redo the fish tank, and these are our new little fish that we have. We named them Millie and Clark after conservation areas in town, and Bear and Nibby. Bear because they came from Bear Creek, which is an offshoot of the Sittingham, and Nibby, which is the Anishinaabe word for water, which was chosen thanks to our contacts at Chippewa. This is that History of Strathroy-Caradoc exhibit we keep talking about. These are our wonderful students from U of T that came to help us with the project. And this was the image on your right there. This was the image that the students came up with as the design for the exhibit space. So we're working off of a lot of their materials, adding in more, and they did some really amazing work for the project, and they're very excited to see it come to life this year too. So, programming, you'll also see these black squares throughout the year in review. These are just feedbacks from participants or volunteers that were really memorable for us, so we just wanted to include the public's voice throughout the review as well. So this is our education and programming. We have had a very successful year with everything from our summer camps to our walking tours, special talks, and historians that we were able to bring in. Even our murder mystery parties were quite a hit this year. Or sorry, I keep saying this year. My brain is still in 2024. But that was really great too. Special projects, I did just go over the Poppy Project, so I won't linger on that one. The Middlesex Heritage Trail, just to give you guys an update, it will be complete this year. We're just waiting for the ground to be soft enough for the new signs to go in. And that's very exciting. And the printing press is being fixed up thanks to funds from the Museum Foundation, and we are looking to use it in our next exhibit. It's not fully fixed yet. We're still waiting on a few things, so fingers crossed that will be coming up soon. Media, these are just a few things that the museum was featured in. Our gift shop is going strong. Digital visitors, so this one we did also add to, if you looked at our review from last year, just highlighting two of the best YouTube videos from last year. So our Poppy Project crochet tutorial video saw nearly 400 views, and Sam's mini DIY craft series, the Loom one, did very, very well. So hopefully this coming summer we'll have new videos. And then lastly, collections highlights. These are ones that we accepted into the collection that were maybe the most memorable, but also we even have a nice quote because, of course, Crystal does any type of research requests that comes in, and we always have people that are really excited to learn more about their history or their property's history or anything like that. So this was just a little quote from one of the researchers that Crystal helped. So yeah, year in review. Are there any questions about it?
Any questions for Michelle? Great, well, thank you, Michelle. What a comprehensive report. What do we do with that report now? I mean, you came to this meeting. Does this one also go to council, or does it go on the website? Like, how is that shared with the public?
I can't put it on the website right now because I can't add to it, but it does become a feature in our, like, where our policies are. It will also go to council through the minutes here. It is a document, if they're interested, I can share directly, but it does need to get approved with MAC because it is a document that we need for grant purposes moving forward for our, Crystal, help me. What's the name?
CMOG.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, yes, CMOG. So it is something that we do need approval for.
Okay, so you use it for grant purposes. Yeah, I was just wondering how you're gonna use that report going forward, so that's good, that's important to know. And then I guess it would probably be nice if it was, when you get the website redone, put it on there too, because I think it's a good comprehensive document if somebody wants to know what the museum does. So, okay, so we need a motion to approve the 2024 year in review. Someone to bring that motion out. Marty, do you want to put your hand up for that? Awesome. Seconded by Ashley. All in favor? Carried. Okay, inquiries or comments by members. Does anybody have anything to add to the meeting this evening? Raise your hand or shout out. Oh, Mr. Mayor, you have something to say.
Yeah, well, there's a microphone in front of me. No, I just apologize, I haven't been to your meetings before, and I do intend to get out to August, but pretty impressive amount of work, Chair. Like I mean this sincerely, like the annual review, I hope that does get in front of council, like it's just amazing amount of work and good work, so once you get that, the annual review, I'll share that on my page, but pretty amazing work, so I thank everybody, and one of the reasons I didn't come before, I didn't have it in my calendar, so I need to plan it, so I noticed in April, so I will come to your meetings when I can, but just, yeah, wow, amazing amount of work to be congratulated, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Anybody else have anything further?
I have one thing, I should have mentioned it earlier, but we actually have, a lot of our banners back in the day were done in vinyl. So the gentleman who did our banners, we kept them all, because why would a museum throw anything away? He came back to us a couple months ago and he says, by the way, I don't do banners anymore, and we knew that, he retired. But I have started creating them and putting them into bags. So this one, we got about, Michelle, I think it was 15, 16 out of them?
16, yeah, 16.
So it's about 2 or 3 bags per vinyl banner. So this one was from our fire exhibit. So we have 2 or 3 from our fire exhibit. So we have a really old photo of a fireman on one side and then the fireman's hall on the other. We're not 100% sure. We'll probably keep some for special occasions, but we might sell some in our gift shop as well. So look forward to that coming forward. And we're just really impressed with what he did. He has this little tag here that, so it's handmade by Jake Hamstra on the side here.
Very impressive.
That is cool.
Yeah, those are really cool. If we are allowed to purchase them, I may or may not be interested.
We have a gift shop. We do not discriminate against anybody on the gift shop.
Good.
They are coming to the gift shop where I'm sorry, Crystal, I couldn't hear you. So sorry if you said this. We're working up little cards that had the original banner, so you can see what it looked like, and then a little blurb about what exhibit it was from. So we're working on getting those done, so they'll be attached with the bag, and then the bags will be for sale.
Okay, excellent. That's exciting. All right, our next meeting, schedule of meetings is on here. Is that because we don't have we need to decide on a schedule, or?
I think it's in April.
It is in April. Okay, it's just not on the agenda, so. Or I can't see it here, Melanie, do you have it?
April
I thought I saw it somewhere.
It says schedule of meetings, but when I click on it, it says nothing.
April the 29th.
Okay, thank you. Next meeting is April the 29th at 6:30 p.m. All right. There's nothing further. We'll motion to adjourn the meeting. Ashley, seconded by Marty. All in favor? carried. Meeting adjourned at 7:26. Thank you, everybody.